DA can walk away. ANC's Godlimpi says they won't beg any party in GNU. In Johannesburg, acting ANC spokesperson Zuko Godlimpi has dared the Democratic Alliance DA to exit the Government of National Unity GNU or be disciplined because the unity is structured in their favor. We won't beg any party, including the DA. We structured the GNU in a way that if you want to walk, they can walk, he said. But he said if indeed the DA was committed to the idea of a common stabilisation program of the country's political system, they would not pull out of GNU. Godlimpi was responding to the DA's federal chairperson Helen Zille that the two parties were in a coalition government. He said the GNU as it stands was the most strategic manoeuvre by the ANC to turn an electoral seer back into a strategic advantage. On Thursday, IOL reported that Zille said there was no such thing as GNU. In a video clip that has gone viral on social media, Zille explains that both parties entered into a coalition from the beginning. President Cyril Ramaphosa came up with this notion of Government of National Unity, which he thought would be a better way of selling the concept of a coalition to his own party, she said. Godlimpi accused Zille of feeding the public with wrong information about the GNU and also undermined the political parties involved. Don't listen to someone who goes to podcasts and media interviews and say things that do not exist, undermines all parties, he said. In addition, he said no party could match in terms of intellectual, ideological, political, and organization. The difference is that some of them are given a disproportionate amount of airtime on the South African megaphone, and the illusion is that they are thinking and speaking alone. It is not true, he said. Meanwhile, ANC's head of political education, David Makura, added that had this been a coalition, the DA would have demanded more than they did. President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver the opening address of the ANC NEC on Sunday today at Johannesburg as well. In the meantime, we are not daunted or defeated. Ramaphosa believes GNU will be ANC's comeback to power. President Cyril Ramaphosa has refused to reduce the Government of National Unity GNU to a typical coalition of government, stating it was formed to advance the interests of South Africans. We entered into this GNU with 9 other parties, some of whom are fundamentally opposed to our perspective of the transformation of our economy and society. That is the nature of GNU across the world. A GNU is different from a typical coalition, nor is it a form of allied or like-minded parties, he said. This is after DA chairperson Helen Zille said they were in a coalition government with the ANC and not in GNU. Ramaphosa was delivering opening remarks and giving a political overview at the NEC at the Beachwood Hotel in Johannesburg on Monday. This is the first meeting of the NEC meeting since the May 29 national and provincial elections in which the ANC suffered a defeat. According to the president, the NEC meeting held over the past 3 days reaffirmed the position that the Government of National Unity is the best tactical option that has the greatest possibility to improve the lives of the people of South Africa. In this speech, Ramaphosa admitted that lack of service delivery, arrogance, factions and corruption contributed to the ANC's downfall, but they would do their best to rule again. We have suffered a great setback, yet we are neither daunted nor defeated. As a movement, we have in the past weathered many storms. We have walked through many fires. Storms like fires soon pass. Failure is not final. Setbacks are not defeats. We must never wallow in them. We must learn from them, regroup, and we must adapt accordingly and move on, he said. Although the road is tough ahead, Ramaphosa urged the ANC members to remain intact. In the same breath, he instructed the National Task Team of the coalition to intervene at the municipal level to ensure that people received services. Municipalities, which are most critical for the delivery of infrastructure and services to the people, are failing. Together with our alliance partners, we have agreed that municipalities are most crucial for creating the conditions in which businesses can grow and create jobs, and are therefore essential for the achievement of inclusive growth, he said. He further assured that the GNU would work for the people. Meanwhile, Ramaphosa defends GNU. It's different from a typical coalition. The ANC National Executive Committee, NEC, has unanimously backed the formation of what it terms as a Government of National Unity, GNU, following chairperson of the DA Federal Council, Helen Zille's remarks that the partnership was a coalition between the two parties. Echoing ex-ANC President Jacob Zuma's assertion, Zille said last week that there was no GNU as the DA and the ANC had entered into a coalition from the beginning. President Cyril Ramaphosa came up with this notion of a government of national unity, which he thought would be a better way of selling the concept of coalition to his own party. She said in a video clip that has gone viral on social media. A government of national unity brings all the parties together. That would include the EFF and MK party, Umkhonto Wesizwe party, which it did not, Zille said. Addressing the opening of the party's Lekotla following the party's NEC meeting at the weekend, Ramaphosa said the dramatic decline in support had its implications. One of the implications of this new situation is that the ANC can no longer govern alone. Faced with this stark reality, the NEC decided that the ANC should give leadership to take the country forward by inviting all parties that would subscribe and agree to set up principles and transformative minimum program to form a government. The NEC meeting held over the past 3 days reaffirmed anonymously the position that the government of national unity is the best tactical option that has the greatest possibility to improve the lives of the people of South Africa, he said. Forming the GNU came with its risks and opportunities, but despite this, they firmly believe it was the best way to form a stable and effective government to advance the interests of South Africans. We have entered into the government of national unity with 9 other parties, some of whom are fundamentally opposed to our perspective on transformation of our economy and society. A government of national unity is different from a typical coalition, nor is it a forum of allied or like-minded parties, he said. And that's it from INJIBS Network. Stay tuned to our celebrity and gossip news.